replay as well.
This meeting is being recorded.
Wow. Okay, great. Brilliant. So let's go. I'm going to share my screen. So you may lose me. You may still see me. We'll see what happens. It seems to change. Sometimes you can't see me anymore. Sometimes you can. Okay. So here we go. Wonderful. Okay, so the whole point of this is leveling up your singing auditions. That's what this masterclass is all about. So it's for singers that want to feel more confident in the audition room, no matter what you're singing, no matter what style, no matter what songs you are being asked for in that audition. So the whole point of today and this masterclass is for you to go from dreading your rock, your pop singing auditions, or maybe it's actually the other way around. Maybe you love singing pop and auditions, but it's legit musical theatre or contemporary musical theatre. Whatever it is, we're going to go from that and feeling less confident in singing, specifically singing, than you do in your acting and your dance auditions. It might be that you've done more work as a dancer, you see more success out of your acting auditions. Maybe you've been doing more plays and straight acting and things that you're like, oh, hang on, I'm kind of getting out of the routine of singing auditions, and it just starts to drop your confidence a little bit. So what we're going to do is take you from there to feeling confident singing any style. So whether you get an audition and they say, we want this style, or we want you to sing these specific songs, learn this material and bring it in, you feel confident with it. And looking forward to your singing auditions as well. So you don't feel nervous, you don't feel under pressure. You're like, yes, I can't wait for my singing audition. It means I get to perform. That's a mindset shift that I did that changed everything in my singing auditions. So here's the 4 steps we're going to go through today to make sure that you feel confident in the whole process, really. And this doesn't change for whatever you're auditioning for whatever material you get given. So audition prep is the first thing we're going to look at. Your pre-audition routine in the audition room, and then after your audition as well. Because I think people often think, oh, okay, well, like after the audition's done, like that's it. But you'll know from being an auditioning performer that that isn't it. Your mind is still going, you're still thinking of different things. So yeah, we're going to look at that because that is very much part of the process. So most of you know me, but just in case you don't, here's a little recap. So my name's Gemma. I'm a vocal and career coach for musical theatre performers. My clients are in the West End, they're on cruises, they're around the UK, they're around the world, they're literally everywhere internationally now, which is insane. I've been in the industry as a performer for over 13 years. I don't know where the time goes. And I've been a coach for over 2 years as well, coming up to 3 years, which again, I don't know where the time goes. But I absolutely love it wholeheartedly. I can't believe I never did it until now. I've booked 2 out of my 3 dream roles. My 3rd dream role, I'm just not old enough yet, but I'll get there. And I went from a dancer that sings at drama school. I was I use quotation marks, the dancer category. Everyone was like, oh, but you're a dancer, which is crazy because now I do not feel very confident in dance auditions at all, or dance classes. To being a singer dancer to being a leading lady. I went from feeling like, not very confident in my singing auditions, feeling really confident in dance calls. I was like, yeah, great, it's just like a class. Singing auditions did feel more pressure. And I didn't feel confident at all if it was anything other than contemporary musical theatre. So if I got asked to bring in a legit musical theatre song or something that showed, my legit range up to a G5, I was like, shit, what am I going to sing? What do I do? Like, I can't do this. If I got asked for pop, rock, anything that wasn't contemporary musical theatre, basically, I just had an absolute freak out and did not know what to take in, didn't know what to sing. And when I went in the room, I was like, oh, I'm so sorry, when I was in the room. So I went from that to feeling confident in every single audition. It was irrelevant what style I got asked for or what songs I was given to sing. If it was specific material, I always felt confident. And that led to me getting consistent callbacks. It led to me building some wonderful relationships and connections in the industry and booking jobs that I'd always dreamed of doing. So let's dive in. Enough about me. Most of you know me anyway by now. Cool. All right. So audition prep. I would love for you to drop into the chat the things that you do to prepare yourself for an audition. So this is before the audition day. This is when you either see the the open call, or you see the audition brief that they've sent you through. They've invited you to an audition. What are some of the things that you do? Drop it into the chat. What are the things that you do, that you think of, that you're like, right, I've got this audition, let's get preparing. This can be absolutely anything. There's no like right or wrong. This is just what you do personally. It might be looking, first thing you do is open your wardrobe and go, what the F do I wear? You might open your rep folder and be like, we didn't have anything. What do you do? Drop them in the chat. Anything that you do in your audition, before your audition, to prepare yourself, to get yourself ready for the audition. I can see you all typing away. Okay, great. Tallulah says anxiety regulation strategies to help to regulate my nervous system and breathing. Yeah, so is that something you do like when you get the audition and you're like, oh, I've got an audition on this date, or is that something that you do like just before the audition? Because we're going to look at your pre-audition in a minute, Tallulah, and I feel like that one goes into that a bit better. Yeah, I do it before the audition. Jess says select which songs I'm going to sing, choose an outfit and plan my travel there. Yeah, perfect. Amy says look at my rep. Yeah, anything else? Prep, look at singing brief, find songs that fit my brief, hopefully already in my rep, says Alicia. Yeah, great. Corona says plan my journey and leave really early. I'd rather be 2 hours early than 5 minutes late. Yeah, again, I would say that that falls into kind of your pre-audition. Again, I feel like Corona, but yes, absolutely. Wicked. So let's have a look. Some of the things that I've written down that are definitely things you need to be thinking about doing to help you feel more confident before you even reach the audition day. So the whole point of this is the more prepared you are, the more likely you're going to succeed. The less nervous you're going to feel because you are focusing on what you can control. The whole preparation game is what you control. So this is practicing your singing. This isn't going, oh shit, I've got an audition, quick, I need to get a lesson with a vocal coach or a singing teacher, or I've never sung this song with a pianist. Like, don't leave things to the last minute. It's the worst possible thing you can do to stress yourself out. So make sure that you're practicing your singing, practicing your songs, and choosing them in advance. So rather than you see the audition brief going, oh, I don't have any songs that fit that, or like, oh, my rep's like not really any good, my rep's outdated, like, we'll spend some time getting all that stuff. Audition prep starts way before you even get the audition. So making sure that you can do everything vocally that you want to be able to do, you feel confident in your voice, you have the right songs in your rep, you have the sheet music for those songs, the cuts and everything's ready to go. You've practiced those songs, you've got some feedback on those songs from a vocal coach, from a voice teacher, a singing teacher, an acting coach, a pianist. You're fully ready to go. I've put audition practice on here as well, because auditions, as you know, are a very specific thing. It's not a process that you kind of do in any other part of the industry. It's quite a specific thing. So yes, going to workshops and classes and things prepares you for it, but it's still a different energy. But that's good practice for it. Yeah, and then as I kind of have already said, like making sure your storytelling, your acting through song is on point. It's all about the behind the scenes work, your audition prep. It's all the behind the scenes stuff. These are the things that you should be doing all the time, rather than, oh, I've got this audition, now I'm going to start working on it. Because sometimes you do have, you know, a couple of weeks. Sometimes you have a couple of days. Sometimes you literally get asked to come in tomorrow and you're like, ah, holy shit. So yeah, 100% ready to go. Now with your pre-audition, so this is something that Tallulah and Corona, you kind of mentioned some things here. What else do we all do before your audition? So this is from the morning of your audition or the night before your audition up until you step into the audition room. That's what I'm referring to as your pre-audition. So from, you know, the evening before, the 24 hours before you step into the audition room potentially. What are some of the things that you do? Drop them into the chat. What's some of the things that you do? Yeah, as Corona says, you know, leave really early, make sure that you're in the area, even if you're not at the venue 2 hours before, like you're in the, you know, you're in the area ready. So if there's any travel situations, you're there, it doesn't matter. And same with like Tallulah saying about breathing and, you know, those strategies that you need to do outside the audition room or before you go in the audition room to get yourself ready. Any other things you want to add into there? Yeah, just this final run through of audition material. Try to have an early night so I can be up and fresh for the day. Try to keep myself calm, breathe. Yeah, nice. Alicia says, don't over practice the song on the day too much, as I already know. Excuse me, I already know it, so I don't need to stress. We're going over and over it. Vocal warm up before going into the room. Yeah, perfect. Amy says, get a good night's sleep, drink plenty of water. Yeah, amazing, great. They're all fab. Laura says, I try and keep my evening routine for the night before as close to my normal routine as I can. I find it helps me sleep better. Yeah, absolutely. You don't put too much pressure on yourself then, do you? I think if we change things up too much, it sends your body and your nervous system into a bit of like a, whoa, what's going on? Why are we doing things different? Should we be worried? Should we brace ourselves? So yeah, as normal as possible is good. Great. So a few pre-audition things that I want to throw at you to think about, to try, depending on if you feel the need to. So your routine is going to be specific to you. So some people will do a full-on, like, you know, before you go to bed, I do X, Y, Z. Other people, like Laura just said, like, you know, I do my normal routine. It's exactly the same, doesn't make a difference. For me personally, I always used to have a set way of doing things. Has everyone auditioned at Pineapple? Drop a yes in the chat if you've auditioned at Pineapple Dance Studios, because I'm going to tell you my Pineapple Dance Studios audition routine. Yes, Laura says, yes, there's Amy, yes, there's Jess, yes, Alicia. Okay, amazing. So if you've been there, you can literally see me doing this right now. But I would always get in the area. I'd be around Pineapple about half an hour beforehand. I'd make sure that I'm in there around 15 minutes before. If it's an appointment. Obviously, if it's an open audition, well, I've been queuing outside since 7 o'clock this morning, outside in the cold. I'm sure you can relate. I would always check in with the audition, but I would go downstairs, I would go to the toilets in the basement, and just do a few sirens and things. I used to do a really weird thing where after I've done like kind of my singing warm up and I'm ready to go vocally and been like moving about and got myself in the right place, I would literally stand in a corner. I can see myself doing this like an absolute crazy person, but it worked for me every time. I'd stand in a corner and literally close my eyes and have the same thoughts going through my head of like, you deserve this, you're amazing, you're such a talented singer, you've got this, you know your songs. Like, I would just be running through some empowering thoughts in my head, and then I would stand in front of the mirrors in the changing bit, not actually in the toilet bit, and I would just look at myself. Or if there's a studio free, I'd go and like jump in one of those little studios in the basement and just stare at myself in the mirror. Yeah, Amy says love that. And I would just stare at myself in the mirror to implement everything that I just said to myself by looking at myself in the mirror and being like, that is who we are. I'd walk back up the stairs and be ready to go. Like, I literally had my energy about me. I think it depends on you as a person, whether you like talking to other people or you don't. I know in the earlier days of my career, I would be quite chatty, but more towards I'd say when I was getting around sort of 25, I couldn't stand the small talk of auditions. So I very much kept myself to myself. And something I do now, even actually on the train, I will put my earphones in. I haven't got any music on in my ears, but like having my earphones in just gets me in my zone. Again, you know, outside the audition room, personally, up to you what you do. I would always be like jamming to whoever's like in the room and thinking like, yeah, like they're doing so well, it's so good, or I love this song. Like making it more about, you know, getting my energy up and bringing joy to me before I step in the room. So your routine is going to look very specific to you. It might include breathing. It might include a vocal warm-up, a physical warm-up. I know some people like to do a full-on physical warm-up. Some people just like to do some stretching. Some people will just walk around or roll their shoulders. You know, everyone's different. Same with your vocal warm-up. You might do 1 or 2 exercises. You might do literally a full-on 20, 30-minute warm-up. It's up to you and your, you know, how your voice works, how your voice is feeling on that day as well. As we know, voices are very changeable. It's an instrument that is inside of your body. Like, it's affected by bloody everything. Mindset, affirmations, tapping into your energy. Also, I know quite a few people do the tapping thing as well. I've never tried it myself. Has anyone tried tapping? It's that thing, isn't it, where you literally tap on part of like your face or your body, and it's linked to like affirmations and mindset and anxiety techniques and stuff. I don't know if anyone knows. Yeah, Tallulah says yeah. Yeah, it's not something I've actually tried, but I've seen it, and I'm sure that's a great thing if you do feel nervous energy before auditions. Listening to music, dancing, talking, any of those things that help you get through. The only thing I'd say with talking, it depends on you as a person. If you are a talker, whether that's like you get nervous and you just talk loads to people, or whether that's it helps you calm down or, you know, get on the right energy level, just be aware of other people, like whether they want to be talking to you or whether they need to be in their own space. But yeah, do what you need to do and know what you need to do. So find your audition routine that works best for you. Corona says, yes, I've been taught the tapping. Cool. I might have to have a look at that and give that a go. I'd love to, yeah, I'd love to try it and see if it's helpful. Yeah, that's your pre-audition routine. Obviously, it looks however you want your routine to look, and sometimes it can change depending on your environment, whether it's an open call and you're in a waiting room of loads of people, whether it's an appointment and it's in a really small space and you don't really have anywhere to wait, you just kind of sit outside, it's very quiet, there might be a runner, there might not be, like all of those factors are obviously quite changeable, but the more you can have control on your pre-audition routine, the better. The more under control of things you are, the more you focus on the things that you can control, the more centered, ready, and yeah, you're just going to feel so much better about your auditions. I would always remind myself as well and excite myself about the opportunity to perform, because that's what it is. And at the time when I was auditioning loads, I wasn't actually performing as well. So if you're not performing, but you get to go in the audition room and sing, it's like, hell yeah, like now is my time to go and perform. And that's one of the reasons I really love the casting director series. I feel like it reignites that, let's perform, let's just do what we freaking love doing, living your soul's purpose. So yeah, absolutely treat it like a performance rather than like, oh, I'm being judged. All right, let's go into the audition room. Laura says, loving the casting director series, would massively recommend it. Yeah, I love the casting director series. Such a great class. So in the audition room, let's have a look into this. So the biggest thing actually with auditions is remembering it's your time. That is literally your time. You don't need to rush. You don't need to race through things. They're not sat there with a stopwatch saying, okay, you've got 2 minutes and go. They're not going to cut you off when your 2-minute timer goes off and expect you to run and leave the room straight away. Like, it's your time. It's your time to show who you are, to show your voice, to show your acting, to show you as a person and a performer. So take your time, go in calm, collected, introduce yourself, go over to the pianist and take your time with the pianist. If it's a song that is, really, really well known, you can always turn around and say, do you need me to go through this? Are you good? It's the standard, like straight through, or it's a cut from here to here. And they might turn around and go, yeah, that's fine. They might say, what tempo's you on? Or no, can you talk me through it? If it's a song that you have got different cuts and things in it, make sure that you can't over instruct the pianist. The worst thing you can do really is walk up to the pianist, say hi, in an apology, put your folder or your sheet music in front of them and walk away. So make sure, they're happy. And then just go sing, perform your absolute heart out, be you, be gracious and unapologetic. And what I mean by that is you've earned the time and the space to be there. You've trained, you've spent loads of time and money to be in that room, to perform in front of this, panel of people that potentially could give you a job. They want you to be there, like they actually genuinely do. They wouldn't be auditioning if they didn't need people. They wouldn't have, if it's an invited call, they wouldn't have invited you into the audition if they didn't need you or want you. If they think you're right for the role, they'll bring you in for it. A very, very big part of the audition process is getting in the room. So if you're in the room, make sure that you are literally living your best life, because you've already won by being there. Any questions about being in the audition room? Drop them into the chat if you've got any questions, or if you're all good, just type the word good and we will keep flying through. Any questions about the audition process in the room? Any thoughts? Okay, Tallulah says good, Jess says good. Okay, great, perfect. Let's keep going. So after your audition, this is a part that I think is always forgotten about in training. We get, trained to do auditions and trained to sing and trained to dance and whatever. But at drama school, do you have a class on post audition or after audition or how to deal with those things? I don't know now, but I certainly didn't. And it's a big part of the audition process. So before I go on, actually, what do you do? I wonder if you have a routine or anything that you do after an audition. Put it in the chat. What do you do after you've been in the audition room? Do you go and do something specific? Do you just go home? Do you go buy yourself a coffee if it goes well? Do you go buy yourself a pair of earrings if it didn't go very well? What did you do? I know at Pineapple when they got H&M over the road from it was a nightmare. I used to walk in there and be like, oh, I'll buy myself something because I did really well. And then if it didn't go very well, I'd be like, oh, I'm going to get something to make myself feel better. And I was like, no. Every time I go to auditions, I'm buying something. So we had to put a stop to that. But what do you do after your audition? Or maybe you don't do anything. Or maybe you overthink the shit out of it. Which I know is often the case. Great. Jess says, I usually go get a coffee and chill for a bit, try to get back to normal. Yeah, great. I like it. That's pretty chilled. Pretty chilled. Laura says, I normally send a message to my agent to let them know how I think it went. Yeah, treat myself moment, regardless of how the audition goes. Yeah, I love that. As long as you're not, getting 10 donuts or buying a diamond ring every time, I think it's fine. A little treat, a little well done, pat on the back moment, definitely. Time to chill and get back to whatever you're doing. Yeah, great. Alicia says, on the train home, I listen to music or a podcast to unwind. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, that's really nice. Really nice. I found the most amazing gelato place around the corner from Pineapple, and that's my go-to place for summer auditions. Laura, I love that. That is so good. So good. Amy says, overthink the whole thing. Yeah, see, I'd recommend the gelato over the overthinking every time. And I'd take the gelato over the overthinking. Yeah, so let's look at your after audition process. So this is something I'd always recommend doing, like check in with yourself. How do you feel? Which pretty much all of you have said. So rather than over-analysing, like Tallulah's said, check in with how you feel and how you think it went on a positive note first. Like, even if it went horrendously bad, wrong, whatever, even in my worst auditions ever, I would come out and be like, okay, well, it wasn't that bad. Like, nobody died. Like, I'm still here. I'm still alive. It can only get better than that. So always try, no matter what happens in your audition, no matter how bad you think it's gone, always try and find a positive. I would urge you, in everything you do performance related, to look at the positive first. The amount of times I will be working with a singer and we'll sing something and I'm like, how's that? Or how did that go? And very often the first thing they do is start to critique themselves. Oh, this bit could have been better, or oh, I was a bit pitchy on that, or I didn't like the way that bit sounded, or I wasn't connected to the story. Like, but what was good? Like, start with what's good, what went well, and if you didn't do it very well, like, what can you do next time to make it go better? And like I mentioned, do you have a routine? Is there something that you do to wind down or whatever? And the most important thing is letting it go. Like, the moment you leave the audition room, and this is something that I can tell you this till I'm blue in the face, but until you start implementing this, like, you have to decide to do this. I can't do it for you. As soon as I leave an audition room, I have always been done. Like, that's it. That's my job done. My job was to step into that room, perform, and leave. So I've done my job. And then whatever else happens, happens. If nothing happens, if I get another audition for something else after going in there, if I get a recall from going in there, if I book a job from going in there, like, the outcome is 100% out of my control. Like, I've done everything in my control. I've performed. That's what I need to do. I am a performer. So I step into an audition room and I perform and I leave. That's it. And in all honesty, there were a few times when I got to finals for things and a few months would pass and I was like, oh, I didn't hear. Obviously didn't get it. And that's the mindset you want to have, because that's so much healthier and that is going to last you a lifetime. You can be in this career for a lifetime, but if you stress about the outcome, you're always thinking about, I wonder what they thought. Did they like my songs? Did they like me? Should I have sung something else? Am I going to get a recall? I wonder if they'll bring me in the room for something else. Or they probably won't bring me in. Like, no matter what you're thinking, try to let it go. Try to let it go. And it's about having a chat with that part of your brain. It's called the chimp part of your brain. And it's about talking to that part of your brain if it does start going out of control, overthinking things, and saying like, yeah, okay, like I understand how you feel. That's fine. But now there's nothing else we can do. Like we've done it and we're going to move on to the next thing. Yeah, see, Amy said, I love that mindset. Yeah, stepping in, performing, and stepping out. It's like when you come off stage, you don't come off stage from your performance and overthink every single possible thing. Like, it's done, isn't it? If you fell over in that tap number, well, you fell over. What can you do? You can't go back in time and not trip or not slip. You learn from it, definitely. If it didn't go to plan, you learn from it. My someone that I went to drama school with, he was in Starlight Express in Germany, and there's a bit where they skate forward or something. Was it Starlight Express? Might not have been. It might have been something else actually. I can't remember. It was a show that he needed to like roller skate in, and there's a bit where they like skid towards it's like a knee slide towards the like edge of the stage bit. And he knew as soon as he started knee sliding that he'd overshot it, like that he wasn't going to be able to stop in time. He went flying off the end of the stage, and yeah, obviously, like most people saw him go flying off the end of the stage. He was like, but I learned not to give it that much welly, so I never did it again. But he didn't stress over the fact that he just, skated off the end of knee slid off the end of the stage. He was bruised. He had, reminders of not to do that again. But he let it go. It's the same thing with auditions. No matter how shit or great, you have to just let it go. So find your way of doing that. There's a couple of things that I wanted to remind you about auditions, the whole audition process. So first one is that your audition brief is a guideline and not a steel cage. This is an example, if they ask for a song in the style of the show, that doesn't mean that you have to go and find a song that does the exact same thing as the song in that show by that composer. It's a general guidance so that you don't take I Have Confidence from The Sound of Music in for We Will Rock You. Same as when you get an audition brief that says, please bring 2 contrasting pop rock songs. They don't want you to bring in Julie Andrews. They want something that's a bit more like modern, contemporary, commercial sounding. That doesn't mean that you need to go and find other things. If you get asked to demonstrate, a certain style or area of your voice, or really specific, in fact, I'd love to hear, have you been given any really specific audition briefs that you were like, I don't know what to sing? Any moments that stand out to you that you're like, I don't know what to sing for this? I know the Mamma Mia, 2 contrasting songs from 70s, 80s in the style of the show brief can often get people. Oh, well, I have to have songs from the 70s and 80s that aren't the songs in the show but are kind of ABBA but aren't ABBA, and I know that can be one. It's very much bringing things that are kind of that same sort of vibe. But more importantly, you. The most important thing you can do in that audition room is show who you are. So I've told this, a couple of you might have heard this example before. It's such a good one. I use it all the time. Felicity French from Cameron Mackintosh casting said they brought a girl in for Les Mis, and they were like, "What are you singing?" And she was like, "I Have Nothing" by Whitney Houston. And she said they literally all looked at each other like, "What the? Like, why would you, like, a pop song? Like, why is she singing Whitney Houston?" Like, and even like when you first hear that, you're like, "What the hell?" Like, I'd never take that. She sang it, and they were literally all sat there, like nodding and smiling to one another. Like, that was really smart. It was a really great song choice. No one had ever taken Whitney in like Flick's time with Cameron Mackintosh. She said, "I've never seen anyone take like a pop song to Les Mis." But that girl got a recall. So taking a song in the style of the show means taking a song kind of that could be right for the show that shows you. I Have Nothing kind of has that similar sort of energy of some of the characters in the show. And it was obviously like an absolute go-to song for her because she nailed it. But most people will go, "Oh, I can't take a pop song in for Les Mis." Well, no, you can't take most pop songs in for Les Mis, but if it's got the right vibe and style and energy to it, then yeah, you can. If it shows you off really, really well and fits the right vibe, I definitely think vibe is more the word than like genre. I think style gets tied into genre. I think if I ever became, which I wouldn't because casting's not for me, it's too much paperwork, but if I ever became a casting director, my audition briefs would say "in the vibe of the show." Yeah, so that kind of went off on a bit of a story with that one, but yeah, use it as a guideline. Don't feel like it has to be like to a T what they've written in the brief. They've just given you a rough idea so that you don't take legit into rock and vice versa. The audition panel on your side as well, and I feel like that's something that we get told and we're like, yeah, they're on my side, but you don't really believe that, but they actually really are. Even more so if it's a closed audition and you've got an invite, because they've already gone through thousands of submissions and chosen to bring you in. So yes, they are sat there like, we need to fill these roles. We want you to be amazing. Like, we want you to show your best. The casting team are sat there like, we know you can do this. So all you have to do is be you. Sing, act, be you, so that we can give you the recall material and take you to finals and then see if we need to put you into the jigsaw or not, if we've got space for you or not. It's actually that simple. We just really love to overthink it and put more pressure on and think, oh, they hate us, and because of shows like fucking Voice and X Factor and Pop Idol and all of that shit. It's the thought of the panel judging you. They're not. They want you to be amazing every single time, and a lot of them have been where you are. A lot of them have been performers, and if they haven't, then they know enough of them to know. First round singing audition is all about you. The biggest thing you can do, or the worst thing, let's go with that. The worst thing you can do in a first round audition is try and be what you think the panel want you to be. It's like the biggest bugbear of mine. To go in singing a song that you think they want you to sing. What you need to do is go and sing a song that you fucking nail, that you're literally like, this was written for me. I love telling this story. I love singing this song. I connect to this song. It's about me. This composer in their mind had me in their head when they were writing this song. That's what you want to take in. So you could have two songs. A friend of mine knows a girl that auditions in New York. She's been on Broadway. She's done like national tours in the US. She has 2 audition songs, and she walks in the room and she says, do you want my up tempo or my ballad? And that's it. For everything she goes in for, those same 2 songs. And it works. She works. And I kind of mentioned this already, but focus on what you can control. There's absolutely no point worrying about things that are out of your control. It's the most illogical thought. Worrying about, if it's going to rain when when you're on the way to the audition, worrying about if the pianist is going to know your song, worrying about if someone else is going to choose the same song as you. Like, you can't control any of those things, so don't concern yourself with it. Focus on everything that you can control: your practice, your voice, your prep, your mindset, your skills, your sheet music, your song choice, your audition routine, everything that you can control. And I said this, and I will keep saying this until I'm blue in the face: an audition is a performance opportunity. We are performers. Performing is what we do. We step in an audition room and we perform. That is what you do. Amazing. Have we got any questions before I kind of move on? I'm going to come back to you, actually. Any questions about any of these things? Oh, I said I'm going to come back to you, and I've not opened the right one. There we are. Any questions? Drop them in the chat, or if you want to unmute yourself, do feel free. Any auditions about your audition process? Tallulah says, could this be applied to drama school auditions? Yeah, absolutely. It's the same concept. The difference with drama school auditions is they just want to see some sort of spark of potential, whereas obviously for actual auditions you need to be slightly more polished. It can't be your such a work in process that you need training, because they don't have time to train you. You need to be a finished product that can be molded, if that makes sense. Yeah. Any other thoughts, questions, anything right now that you're like, this is a thing for me in singing auditions, this is how I feel about singing auditions, I have this coming up, what do I sing? Any thoughts or questions at all? Pardon me, I've flown through everything quite fast, so yeah, feel like it's just a sinking down process thing as well. But yeah, I can see Jess is typing. Laura says, when you go in and they're running behind, so they just say they want to hear your best 32 bars, do they literally want your best song, or still consider the show in that choice? I would still sing what you were planning on singing, unless it can't be done in 32 bars. But I also think if it can't be done in 32 bars, it probably shouldn't be in your book. Personally, I would still sing what I was planning on singing originally. Just the short version of it. I think if you go in and sing exactly what you've planned to sing, even though it's 2-3 minutes long, I don't think that's the right choice. But yeah, the cut version of what you were going to do, that's what I would do. Jess says, I think for me it's more about putting it into practice now. Yeah. And that can only be done by doing it, by doing either audition type classes like workshops where you get used to getting in a room with a casting director, with a pianist, having to talk them through your music, having to work through cuts, and also by just going to any auditions that you can. I know open calls are fewer, and there's not as many as there used to be, so it's not so much a case of, oh yeah, I'm just going to go to auditions for the sake of practicing, because there's not as many of those opportunities. But I think where you can find them, even if it's something you're like, I'm not right for this at all, or I'm not, I don't want this, like if I got offered this job I would say no, I already know that, then go and just practice anyway. I think there's always got to be a reason for why you go to an audition, which if you need the practice, that's a valid reason to go. If it's because you want to be seen by that casting team, that's a valid reason to go. If you want that job, that's a valid reason to go. Tallulah says, if I could sing a song that is out of my age bracket but fits my personality, would that be okay? Yeah, absolutely, as long as it doesn't refer too much to age. I.e., if you sing She Used to Be Mine and you're 16, 18 years old and you kind of lived through that scenario, you don't have the emotional maturity to fit that song's not going to serve you. Same as the amount of people that will sing Me and the Sky and then sing, and then I'm 51, and then you're like, well, you're clearly actually 23. You look about 23, so why are you singing 51? So it does matter to the only thing that matters is whether it matches you on a emotional maturity level, whether it matches your voice, you as a storyteller, and you as a person. I also believe that lyrics can be slightly adjusted for an audition purpose, slightly. Example, I used to sing Killer Instinct, and at the end of Killer Instinct she says, I'm just 16, and then there's another bit where she says, I can't remember the words, in a 4-foot frame, and I'm not 4 foot, like I'm about 5'4", 5'5". So I used to sing in a 5-foot frame, and I used to sing I'm just 18, because I was starting to look too old to be saying I'm just 16. Did anyone ever pull me up on it? Never, not once. Did it work for auditions? Yeah. Every time. Yeah, kind of gone a little bit on a tangent, but I think that makes sense, right, Tallulah? If that hasn't answered your question, then just say. Corona says, was told it's best to wear all black. Is that true? Who told you that, Corona? I think that's completely untrue. Again, it's an opinion, though. Completely an opinion. If you wear black all the time as a person, absolutely wear black. If you want to, be quite classic or quite rocky, then absolutely all black. But for me personally, if I was going in for Mamma Mia, I wouldn't touch an ounce of black. I wouldn't have a single speck of black on my body because it's just not the right vibe. If I was going in for We Will Rock You, I would wear some sort of black, bold, bright colours. Yeah, I seldom wear black, I was told in college. Yeah, love that. Yeah, I'm going to categorically say that is incorrect. Wear whatever the F you want. Wear what you are, who you are as a person. Definitely. Laura says, I hear you. With cruises, for example, like Royal, they'll have you in for a specific show, but also ask for a contrasting song. Yeah, for say a pop show. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah. Because alongside their book shows, they do another show. I think you kind of are sort of crossing two different things, really, aren't you? Especially if you're doing something maybe that's a different style. However, I would go in with the song that you wanted to lead with, but the 32 bar of that. Tallulah says, I enjoy being a girl by a Flower Drum song, but it's sung by a Chinese woman, but the personality is perfect. Yeah. Does it? I haven't listened to that song in so long. But does it make any suggestion towards heritage, nationality, like ethnic background or anything? Because that's the only time I would be cautious. No, it doesn't. Well, yeah, I don't think that would be a problem then. I also think for drama school, you aren't expected to be as educated on your choices. So it, as I said, it is more very much about that potential. Like, can she sing? Can we teach her to be a better singer? But is she already good enough to come here? Can she act and tell a story, but got potential to be pulled out of herself even more? That's kind of that's it. Great. Is that, I think that's all the questions, isn't it? Anything else? Anything else? I mean, I do feel like I've gone on a little bit more of an audition tangent, general audition tangent, but we have been talking very much about singing auditions, specifically singing auditions. And if you want to continue this, if you want to improve your voice, your singing, level up like your voice and your singing success, then the singing bootcamp is gonna be like the way forward, 100%. Do you want me to tell you a little bit about the singing bootcamp? Do you want to find out a bit more about singing bootcamp? I'll tell you everything that's included now that we've got kind of dates and times and things that are involved. Amy, you did the bootcamp at the beginning of the year, didn't you, as well? It's changed ever so slightly since then. But yeah, that's going to be the way to move forward from here and get to the next step. This is obviously very much I mean, I've given you loads of tangible things that you can go and put into play and put into action. But if you want to step up vocally, if you want to step up with like mixed voice, belting, vocal technique, singing legit versus contemporary, singing pop, singing rock, and really expand your whole entire singing audition, then this is going to be the way to go with it. I just need this because I need to see what it remind myself of the like dates and everything like that. So yeah, so singing bootcamp is literally for you if you want to become a better singer. You want to feel more confident in all of your auditions, so every style of audition across the whole board. Level up your voice and your audition success. So this is mainly for you if you sing musical theatre really well, but you dread singing pop or rock, or vice versa. Maybe you love singing legit musical theatre, but contemporary isn't your thing, or contemporary musical theatre is your thing, you don't feel that confident about legit. If you don't feel confident in your singing auditions, like you feel confident in your acting and your dance auditions, or if you struggle with mixed voice and or belting. So you want to feel more confident in your musical theatre, pop and rock, all of your singing auditions. You want to feel super confident in every style or any song that you get asked for in your auditions, and you want to become an amazing singer, then this is the program for you. It's a short course. It's literally one of the shortest programs that I do. It's crammed into 3 weeks. So you get 4 live group sessions on Zoom. You get lifetime replay with all of those. You'll be in a private Facebook group with just the bootcamp community. So we have one call that is Singing Technique 101. So I will be going through, how to warm up your voice, how to cool down your voice, giving you some exercises for head voice, falsetto, chest voice, mix, belting, twang, nasal, like so many different things. And diving into how to look after your voice as best you can and improve your technique, and then answer any questions as well, any specific questions that you've got on your singing voice, on your technique, or any issues that you're having right now. The second call is all about singing contemporary musical theatre versus legit musical theatre. So we're going to be looking at each style and what each style requires, the differences and the similarities, and just to make sure that you feel confident whether you're singing a contemporary musical theatre song in your auditions or on stage, and a legit musical theatre song in your auditions and on stage. The third call is all about mixed voice versus belting. I know this is a very highly talked about topic. Are they the same thing? Are they different things? I'm going to be explaining all of that, explaining the differences and giving you exercises to work on both of those things. Nailing your mixed voice and nailing a belt. And then the fourth call is all about how to sing pop. So that'll be pop, rock, country, any popular music style. But I'm giving you tools and ways to work on making your pop songs less musical theatre-y, but also not going too far that then it's no use to take to audition. I think it's a very fine line, and I think different people say different things. So yeah, they're the things we're going to dive into in those 3 weeks. And then as part of it, you get a bonus month free in the Get Booked membership as well, which is really exciting. There's some crazy exciting things happening in the membership right now. I announced some of those this morning, and I'm going to be talking about them over the next week on social media and things. But yeah, I'm really excited for this particular program, for the singing boot camp, because of how you will feel by the end of it. And it's such a short space of time, literally within 3 weeks, to transform how you feel about your singing auditions, about your voice, and just feel in a different place. In the summer, very often, I know people can go on holiday and neglect their voice and things, but this will get you back into it, so that September, when I know auditions are going to pick up, September, October time, you'll be ready to fly and not be like, I've been away, what do I do now? So yeah, if you are interested in that program, or you want to talk to me any more about that program, then just send me a DM over on Instagram. Yeah, any questions, any thoughts, or if you want to sign up, there's a pre-sale from it, so it opens today, and pre-sale is £149 for lifetime access to all 4 of those classes, and obviously the live classes and Q&As as well. So yeah, I'm so looking forward to that. Great. Any other questions before we close out about anything? So all I've done is chat. Any final questions? Fire away. If not, we will close out. You will obviously get the replay for this as well, so if you do want to watch anything back, you can. Yeah, amazing. Everyone happy? Awesome. Have a wonderful Friday. Have a lovely rest of your Friday, and I will see you all on another masterclass inside whatever program you're inside, or on socials, you know. Amazing. All right, have a great Friday, have a great weekend. I'll see you soon.